Most schools have the usual rules such as being dressed, showing up on time, and being quiet in the classroom. Usual school days are usually Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day. School break is during the summer and we all get a few months off to enjoy the sun and take a nice vacation. But things are not the same when it comes to other countries, and we found some strange rules in South Korea which might make you happy you don't live there. Before we jump into the video, make sure you are subscribed and turn on notifications so you will be the first to know when we release a new video. No shoes. You probably know about the Asian tradition of taking off your shoes before entering a home. Well, the shoe etiquette goes beyond the house and into the classroom when it comes to students in South Korea. Students and the school staff must remove their regular outdoor shoes and change into special school slippers before entering the school. Absolutely no one is allowed to wear street shoes of any kind in the school. The school does not provide slippers and students and teachers are required to buy their own. It's probably understood that taking off your shoes before entering a house or a school is a show and sign of respect. If students forget their school slippers, they must walk around in their socks or go barefoot. If there is a school event where a lot of parents are invited, the school hands out blue shoe covers. Strange bathroom rules. Like all the other schools in the world, to go to the toilet you just have to ask for a pass to leave the classroom. And in many countries, the school supplies all the stuff like paper towels or toilet paper. But South Korea has a different system. Each classroom has their own toilet paper roll. If a student needs to use the restroom, they tear a piece of toilet paper from this roll and take it with them. It seems like it might be a little embarrassing and you need to make sure that you take enough with you because there are no second chances in this game. There are probably a lot of reasons why this is done, but it's most likely to save the school money and to stop some children from flushing a whole roll of toilet paper at once. School uniform. The majority of secondary students in South Korea have to wear a uniform called a gyobok. From the start of middle school and up, the uniform is strictly monitored, and students must wear one. The uniform usually consists of a shirt, blazer, and tie, with skirts for girls and long trousers for boys. In addition to uniforms being standard, students also have standards for which they must wear their hair. Rules used to state that you couldn't dye your hair and it couldn't be longer than normally accepted. For the boys, hair has to be short enough that it doesn't cover the ears. For girls, hair has to be kept close to shoulder length. And of course, all hair should be that typical Korean natural hair color, black. Jewelry and makeup are not allowed to be used by the students. This includes small rings and chains, and even if you are caught using a lip balm, you could be in trouble. The 5-year teacher-principal rotation cycle. Teachers in South Korea don't end up staying at the same school, as most teachers in other schools and universities in places like the United States, for instance. After each 5-year term at the school, everyone, including the teachers, the vice principal, and even the principal of the school, go through a lottery-type system and have to change schools. This was done to give the staff a chance to work at many different schools. There are schools which have a bad reputation and some schools that aren't so bad. In fact, there are model schools in South Korea where teachers want to teach at and have high-performing students, and end up being a much better facility to work at. The learning process in South Korea is serious business, right down to the staff of the school itself, and South Korea wants its teachers and school staff to experience everything. Take out the trash. Most public buildings, including schools in different parts of the world, have their own staff to keep them clean. The only thing that a student has to worry about is their studies. However, if you're a student in South Korea, then you need to clean up the school yourself. That's an entirely different system that schools in other parts of the world are used to. It's not known if the students mind doing this or not, but it teaches the students responsibility and teaches them not to litter or stick gum under their desks. Students are required to sweep and vacuum the floors, then dust and take out the trash. They also get to clean the desks, the blackboards, the hallways, and even scrub the stairs. Luckily, there is a cleaning lady that comes to clean the bathrooms. And if the outside of the school is dirty, then the students clean that up too. By the way, chewing gum or eating anything is banned in almost all schools across the world, unless you have treats for everyone in the class. Extra lessons. When it comes to international tests, South Korea has some of the highest achievers. This is probably due to those 12-plus-hour Saturdays and other long days of study. For many students, a double shift of school every weekday is a normal thing. students attend class from 7:30 a.m. and then it's lunchtime at 1 p.m. At 5 p.m., school ends and self-study or special classes begin. At 7 p.m., there is dinner at school for 1 hour, and at 8 p.m., self-study continues. At 10 p.m. at night, if you are not among the top performers in the school, then you leave at this time. Some students then go to a private after-school tutoring program, and the top performers stay at school, and most of these students actually live at the school in a dorm. Those students stay in self-study. At 12 a.m., non-boarders go home and continue self-study. Those living at the school go to group areas in their dorms and continue to self-study. Teachers who live in the dorms force the students to stay awake. It is said that some students hang out windows so that falling asleep means falling to the concrete. Sleeping in class. One needs to wonder if it's actually allowed to sleep during classes in South Korea. A survey was conducted that found 1/3 of students in South Korea sleep during class. In fact, it's a normal thing to see 10 to 30 students passed out on their desks and some fast asleep. Apparently, teachers don't do anything to stop this, and it's not because the students are lazy. It's those 12-hour school days 6 days a week, giving most students less than 6 hours of time to sleep. But these students only need to attend the special classes that come after the regular classes. It's no surprise to see some students sleeping during these morning to afternoon classes. No homecoming events. In U.S. high schools, there is a dance at the end of the high school year called a promenade dance, or as it's sometimes called, homecoming, where students get dressed up nice, get a date, and head to what many say is one of the most important and memorable times of the end of your high school year. It's kind of a junior-senior dance, but it's usually called the senior prom. At this last dance of the year, a prom king and queen are named, and it's supposed to be a really big deal for the student. Most countries have adopted this homecoming celebration and have their own prom. However, South Korea doesn't have anything like this. There are no special student societies that organize any such parties. In South Korea, the idea is to leave school to celebrate, and the rest of us can totally understand that. Punishment. Every school has some type of punishment system for not doing what you're supposed to be doing, or when certain people such as troublemakers or bullies need to have some discipline. A lot of different things can happen, such as ending up in detention or worse, having to stay after school and write 1,000 times, "I will not shoot the teacher with spitballs," on the blackboard with chalk. It usually doesn't get any worse than this, and students aren't tied to a post and beaten with a whip. However, in South Korea, corporal punishment was used for quite some time. Some of those things might end up being a slap in the face or getting a cane across the legs. Each school has its own rules when it comes to punishment, and it would actually seem that this type of punishment is coming to an end, and many students won't accept any kind of physical punishment. There are some stories of students calling the police on teachers for being hit or beaten by them. It is not known if this type of punishment still exists, but some sources say it does. Limited vacation. In most schools around the world, there is no school during the summer for many reasons. Some of those include the fact that it is way too hot to sit in a classroom and do schoolwork. And who wants to be stuck inside during beautiful summer days when there are better things to do, such as play on a beach or hang out with friends? And it's usually the time when families take vacations. So most schools close down for these few months, and then in the fall it's back to school.
Summer, 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 summer.
But in South Korea, school starts in March and runs until February of the next year, which leaves about a month of break during semesters. And to top it all off, this small break isn't even a break at all, and is filled with academic camps which teach English, math, and other important subjects. However, there is a small break that consists of two major holidays, called Chuseok and the Lunar or Chinese New Year, where everyone gets 3 to 5 days off of school. There are a couple of other days, such as the school's anniversary, but days off are rare. We hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget that if you want to be first to know when we release a new video, make sure to click subscribe and enable notifications. We appreciate you and want to thank you for watching.